Yeah, it does, Steve. I will tell you, one of the things about September. It's always nice to have those young guys come up because they bring energy. You've been here all year, and they're first time they get to the big leagues for the first time. No matter where they've come from, no matter how many games they've played, they bring energy, and Brandon's done that here so far.
What goes into your thinking of, okay, I'm comfortable sending Jake out again after that long of a delay? How do you determine that?
Well, he has something to say about it for sure, but we had him throwing in the cages inside a couple times before we came back out. Dan talked about, hey, if the game starts by 9 o'clock, he's going to be okay. So, and again, as I said before the game, a lot of it's dictated on the number of pitches he threw, how much the intensity was early. So he was throwing pretty good. So he said he could go back out, and to be honest, we needed him to give us a couple more innings.
Even without his best stuff for a large part of this season, he's been getting the results. But do you feel right now like he's really starting to get into the role that you've expected?
No question about it. And we've said that all along. And, it's been hard to, it's tough to stay with because it's a process involved. But, you saw from Harv the other day, it's starting to come back. Jake's starting to come back. So I think it's something that we've realized that we've had to, deal with. But that's why I'm looking forward to these 4 days off coming up here in the next few days, that these guys can really rekindle the energy and get ready fresh for the second half.
Terry, another big night for Loney. I mean, have you had to worry about first base at all since he got here to take care of Duda?
Can you, he's a good player. He's a solid player. He really is. And again, one of the big raps on James, because it's a productive position. You look for, production out of that position. He's not a big home run hitter, but he's a good hitter. And I've always thought, if you put the ball in play and spread the ball around, and, you're going to drive in runs. And James played very, very well for us. We're lucky that he was available.
Terry, you said it from spring training what a pro Cabrera is, and he showed that to you early on. But you put him in a lot of different spots in the order, and he seems to have responded to each of them. Can you talk about that and the flexibility he gives you?
Well, being a switch hitter, he gives us a lot of flexibility. And, Richie, he has come in here. He's come into this team with, the chance to contribute. He wanted to play shortstop. We were looking for a shortstop. But he said when we signed, he'll play anywhere. But he'd like to try to play shortstop, and that's what he's done. And like I said before the game, there's a lot of days I ask him today. One of his knees is bothering him a little bit. And I said, look, we take today. I don't want it. And he said, no, I want to play tonight. And that's just how he is. He's tough to get out of the lineup, but he's one of those guys. Again, when the young players are around him, they see how he goes about his job, and we're glad he's here.
Terry, you mentioned James isn't really a traditional home run hitter, but so when he does go deep like he has been lately, how big is that for you guys?
Well, it's big because that's a lot of them are they come in the right spots, but and he'll tell you every place he's always been, people see him hit homers and they say, "Wow, you should hit more homers." That's not who he is. If you guys know, I've known this kid since he was 18 years old. Anytime you see him swing the bat, you're thinking, boy, this guy's going to develop power. He's just developed into a good hitter who has some power. But you look around, he's always hitting 15 to 17, but he drives in some runs, and that's what we need right now.
Terry,
okay.
It's about.
All right. It's midnight. I want to remind you.
It's about 48 hours ago. You guys are probably. You're pretty low, and now here you are after taking two from the best team in baseball, pretty high. Is it just the way the game works? You just have those.
It is, Zach, and you know that. I mean, that's when we talk about it all the time here. One thing about I'm real aware that it's the gloomiest days when you lose here, or if you lose 2 or 3 in a row. It's very hard to deal with, but it's a long year, and you can have some up times. That's why I try to tell the guys. When things are good, don't get too high. But when things are really going bad, don't get too low. We've got. I know everybody gets tired of hearing it, but we've still got a lot of games left that we need to play well. No question about it. But it's baseball, and there's nights where the good teams get beat, And right now we had 2 well-pitched games. We've held that team down. They got a very, very good team, and we got to continue to play well. 2 games doesn't mean much because we've got a lot of games yet left on a homestand. But we don't get too down when the way we played against the Nationals. They have a good team. We didn't play well. We didn't get too down about it. We knew we had to bounce back, and in the last 2 nights we've bounced back. So hopefully it continues. All right.